Three, two, one, and we are live. You know, I
Howdy,
watched the
folks.
video. Hello, everybody. I watched the video yesterday and really got my thoughts. With everything that we're seeing in the world and how Trump is. When Trump says that we wants Greenland and down to the Canada and down to the Panama Canal. I just got to thinking, and well, I didn't get to thinking. It's this other guy that got me to thinking. And so, and it's almost like a major curveball that was thrown to me. And I'm going to show a couple of things here in a minute. But first, I just kind of want to give like a general overall, as I've spent some time in the Word after that, and I've started seeing the kings that are mentioned in Revelation 17 in a different light. I used to think they might represent global powers, but then I found this interesting possibility, and it just kind of jogged me yesterday. What if they're actually the 10 nations surrounding Israel? Okay. And it started making sense. As I look more closely at the prophecies, the beast with the 10 horns, the 10 kings, who might receive authority for 1 hour and give their power to him. That lines up better if it's local, especially since Israel's constant enemies have always been those surrounding her, like Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Gaza, Iraq. These are the nations that continually show up throughout prophetic judgment passages. And as I continued looking at this, I noticed, and there's all this, that, some people say America's this, America's that, but it's never, it's kind of like the UFO stuff, you can't ever get a clear picture. We see through. It's never clearly been found. America's never been clearly found in prophecy, and that might have seemed strange years ago, but now with how rapidly America is declining, and I'm going to show some stuff here in a little bit if I get to it, and I mean declining both morally and politically, and it makes more sense to me at least than ever. It may not be relevant by the time these things are fully unfold. I also hear people, claiming that Ezekiel 38 is already happening, but I just can't get there biblically. Israel's supposed to be dwelling in peace in unwalled villages without fear. Now that whole thing right there, without the people keep expecting like all the walls are going to come down, but I think it has more to do with the state of mind that they are
Right.
in peace and so forth. And that's definitely not the case right now. Plus, that invasion also involves all of Israel's enemies at once, kind of like, the Psalm 83 war, not the gradual conflicts we've been seeing, even the Gaza war. Same with the seals. People are saying we're in the seals. But as I read Revelation 6, it's clear the Lamb is the only one worthy to open the scroll. And another thing in the world today that matches what happens when those seals are open, peace is taken from the earth, widespread famine, a quarter of the world dying, so on and so on. We're just not there. I mean, unless something escaped my notice, we hadn't lost, a couple of billion people. And then there's the Euphrates River. Some are connecting the drying of the river with current events, but that's not scheduled to happen until the 6th bowl of wrath.
Yeah.
In Revelation 16:12, that's way down the prophetic timeline. Possibly, I'm not taking any hard stances here. I'm just throwing some things out. After the seals and trumpets, it's not something that precedes Ezekiel 38 or the rise of the beast. It's to make way for the kings of the east during Armageddon. Totally different context. So putting all this together, I'm really leaning toward the view that these 10 kings are, could possibly be regional. Don't throw me out here. And right around Israel, they're the ones the beast will rise among, just like Daniel says. He arises among the 10, subdues the 3, and then rules from there. That would also explain why the global West, especially America, is absent from the picture. We may already be cut out of the way by time, and some of this, as I dove back into Revelation, and and I kept picturing this image of a world chopped up into 10 kingdoms, with Trump, he's setting up this kingdom and so on and so forth, that broken apart scene. When the seals and the trumpets, at first it made me think globally mess, but then something kind of clicked. What if that chopped up world is actually regionally focused? Here's what I mean. Those kings could be the 10 nations surrounding Israel, the ones at odds with her: Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Gaza, Philistia, etc. If you imagine the world chopped up into regional blocks, this would be the focus area for the beast's domain. Also, remember the Euphrates River drying up. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen again until the sixth bowl. And that's just kind of about America being in prophecy, and even some of these other nations, being, everything being chopped up like the Antichrist, because there's been like even Philip Barnett, that prophesied with the the Ukraine war and everything. And he even has some other prophecies, for those that want to go and do some discerning homework. I'm not putting Philip Barnett up on a pedestal or anything, but when somebody he says, God spoke to him things, and everybody's going, yeah, and so, I just thought that the image of a chopped up world was, I don't know. I just see it more concentrated around Israel than we usually consider, and obviously the world is just going absolutely nuts with and there's a billboard that just went up in Israel, and I'm going to share this right now. This is totally mind-blowing right here. And man, you got your calculator out? You got your calculator out? Check this out, man. Let me pop this little picture up right here. Whoop, there we go. All right. Now, if you look and if you remove, Trump, and you remove Netanyahu, what do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay?
That's interesting.
So, and again, going back to like Barnett's prophecies and things, where he was saying that, where God told him about these mountains in Ukraine or something, that for the remnant that are left behind, that the Antichrist will never conquer that area or whatever, there's gonna, but everything centers around Israel, and I've seen other people, and I don't want to mention names or they're chopping this thing up even into genetics, and they're wanting to flip Psalm 83 on its head and say, well, they're cutting Israel off because it's the Palestinians and Lebanese, because their genetics, they're actually Israel, and my thoughts are on that. It's like, Yahweh, God put his name on Jerusalem. Okay. Yeah. That's what they're trying to divide. Okay. Now, regardless of, the genetics or whatever, I'm sure God's got that all figured out. Okay. Now, whether he gathers them like, and I think that's a possibility, with like a horizontal wishing, like with Philip and the eunuch or whatever, where Philip was, swished away to a different place. I think it was 400 miles or something like that away. So could there be this supernatural? Look at everything that's happening in the United States right now. I mean, could there be coming up here this supernatural whisking, of those people that don't even know they're part of the tribes and everything, and get whisked back? I don't know. I mean, these are just interesting thoughts that I just wanted to, pop on here for a little bit and share and try to kind of condense this thing down, because, I mean, I'm always kind of from the hip, and and it was just something I heard yesterday, another channel, and I said, I'm gonna dig a little bit into that, and boy, wouldn't that be just mind blowing? Everybody thinking, oh, the whole world is going to be. No, because it's a time of Jacob's trouble. It's surrounding that area of the world and the nations of the other world, and again, not, but bringing back up Philip Barnett, there's going to be places of refuge, like in Texas and somewhere in the Midwest, maybe the Dakotas. I don't remember. I mean, I dug so deep into that guy that, like I said, I mean, there's a lot of people, leaning on their own understanding. And hey, Razpaz, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. But, what's up, bud? There's so many people, and doing the counts and this and that and the other, man. And I mean, and look, man, if anybody says they got this thing exactly figured out, man, I'll tell you what, run, because, God is in control of this thing. And the main thing is what's scrolling across the bottom of my screen is 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4, and I mean, man, just believe in his death, burial, and resurrection. You confess with your mouth, believe in your heart, and you're saved. Right. And for anybody else who might trip across this, I know this get a little bit deep into this thing, but you know what? It is lining up, and with everything that we're seeing right now, M to the G, man. I mean, a rapture could be today. I mean, I know I've talked about Philip Barnett, and after November 4th, but if that's the case, let's get out here and win some souls. Let's reach out, and I'd like to know what anybody thinks about this thought. Share, subscribe. And interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, about I was drawn to the verse that talks about there are 5 kings. One is, and the other has not come, but once he comes, he continues for a short while, and he's the 7th and also the 8th. So I wonder if that has to do with some of the surrounding nations of Israel, like how Syria just fell, and a couple years ago Iraq, and just a couple of the different surrounding areas, their governments have fallen recently, in the last couple of decades. And it would be interesting if that's what it is.
The chess pieces are being moved around the board, man. And
I'll tell you this. I just want to say this one thing.
Go ahead.
I think America is in the Bible, and it's in Daniel, because he talks about the 4 beasts that he saw, and one of them, the first one he saw, was a lion that the wings of an eagle, and the wings were plucked off and they flew away and were made to stand on feet like a man. That the representation, our icon is an eagle as a nation. And I think it says a man's heart was given to it too, and we're the only ones that stand during the national anthem and put our right hand over our heart. And but the lion is represented by Britain, which our founding fathers escaped Britain because of religious persecution by the Roman Catholic Church. So those wings being plucked off of the lion, I really think that's the only place in the Bible I see America.
There's so many different things, when you talk about the young lions, and I mean, man, I'll tell you what, I mean, and there's people like Bill Salas that have been studying things, for years, and then now as things are coming to pass, that what's Raspass got to say here? Yes, I thought this was as well concerning Daniel, eagle and lion, both the crown of Britain and USA. Could be, but man, I just see all of those people right there that are surrounded, and I think that's interesting, that picture right there. And that billboard is up in Israel, just went up in Israel. And, and all of the people, when they first kind of floated the two-state, and all the people were against it. But there's a man in the background right now that he's going to be, when he comes up onto that scene, and we're gone before that guy comes up on the scene, that he is going to pull everything together. Man. Oh, yes.
Daniel.
Is it live or is it Memorex? Man, you're dating yourself, Memorex? Daniel. You're dating yourself.
What's Memorex?
Oh, I know, man. That goes back to my time, man. Oh, man. Yeah. There we go. Stalkers, welcome. Yeah, there we go.
Another thought is, that's interesting that there are 10.
Absolutely, Jesse,
nations.
Man.
Are there 10 nations surrounding Israel exactly? Or are these just the ones that have conflicts with them? Like,
I'd have to pull up a map to look at that, because you got the Moabs and theseites and that, and the Moabites and Moabites, and I'm just like, there's some people, especially like a Bubba News or something, he could get, if I had 10% of that man's knowledge, it's just, yes, God bless. Good to see you too, Daniel.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Man, it's just awesome, man. Yeah, I'm tired of people arguing with me on other chats about the pre-trib, when it happens, and when they find out, I'm going to enjoy the ride of. Absolutely. Glad to see you too, man.
Yeah. How beneficial it is to argue on the internet.
Oh, I know, because the thing about this is all, in the comments, and in the live chat, all this is words on a page. You know what I'm saying? And the enemy takes and twists those things. And I've had so much of that happen with me, and even the fellow watchmen, because everybody's got this thought on what's going on in the back of their minds.
Right.
And say, well, they're thinking that they said this. And and what does the Bible say? It says the letter kills and the spirit gives life, and even letters on a text or anything. And that's what we're missing is this, it's this communication with each other,
And the other thing is love, because most of the time, most of these people just want to be right about something. They're not really listening. They're not thinking about how they're making others feel.
Good point, Daniel.
They just want to be right, And it's like, when you get to heaven, you're going to realize that doesn't matter. It was, how did you treat others? How did you speak to others? How did you make others feel?
Yes.
Because that is the fruit that is going to count in heaven.
That's it.
Not if you were right or not.
Scott, somebody else, and I don't know where I heard it, because we watch so many videos and this and that, I can't even account for where I heard, but I heard this was almost a mockery of the Last Supper as well.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah. I don't know, it's a little bit of a stretch for me, just because they're not sitting at a table and you don't have the crown prince leaning over on Trump's chest, but it's close. It's, I don't know how else you would make a picture with that many people and not have it look like, resemble the Last Supper in some form. But
and the thing about it is, you count them all, it's 12. I don't think that has anything to do with that, but because with Jesus there were 13, and of course that's not like that whole number. There's no 13th floor on, because Satan just takes and
Yeah.
wants to
Friday
twist
the 13th.
everything up, and that's why
Yeah.
on October 31st, there's no, um, it's like All Hallows Eve and everything. Something must important happened there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And just like
Hallowed. Yeah.
according to some of the timelines or whatever, that it looks like that Jesus was born on December 25th. And let's see, no, wait. Or he was conceived on,
October
I
31st.
think it was conceived on December 25th. And so, what does the devil do? Want to run in there and put a bunch of pagan stuff on it? You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
He
I think,
occupies the territory. That's the
yeah,
most effective strategy.
yeah, and he
Pretend
can't
to be the thing you're driving people away from.
exactly. And meanwhile we got so much going on in the world here, man. I mean, let me just start with a couple of these things. Let me go to the bottom here of my deal. Have you heard about that firefighter ambush that just happened?
Yeah. Yeah, that was awful. That was disgusting.
Yeah,
I can't
I
believe
mean,
that.
I think somebody set that fire, the
Yeah, they
shooters or
did.
whatever, and waited for them to come out there. Now that's my own opinion.
100%.
I don't know.
No, you're right. I think that's been proven. I think
Yeah.
that's already fact. But hey, before we get too deep on anything else about the 10 Kings, I don't know if I've said it on your channel yet or not, but I wrote it in my book, Infinite Affinity, and I'm just now prophecy can come together and manifest in different ways and multiply and happen many times over the years, over and over. It's not just limited to one fulfillment. It can have many different fulfillments, many different levels, So what you're saying about the 10 kings around Israel could be, but there could also be like BRICS, who have the 10 nations already, the 10 member nations, and they also have the United Arab Emirates, and he said, which consists of 7 states. So he said he saw a beast with 10 heads and 7 horns. So 10 nations, and the United Arab Emirates being the 7 horns. I don't know,
Yeah, and the little horn coming up and him plucking out, subduing the first 3 and everything. And, when I look at that, what pops into my mind, with BRICS, because I thought about that a long time, how many nations are going to be added to it, and look at this and look at that. But you know what? The devil always has a counterfeit,
That's true. Yep.
But no, devil knows about it far more than we do.
And the nature of prophecy is one that can't be predicted, right? We're only going to know what it is in hindsight.
Yeah.
Because that's the nature of prophecy. Every single prophecy that's ever come to pass, you don't know it until it's already happened.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed. And God evades our understanding for a reason. So we don't get prideful, and we don't start thinking too much of ourselves and our knowledge and interpretations.
Yeah.
The sea. This is the sea. What is the sea?
This is the sea from which the beast will rise out of, as mentioned in Revelation, United Nations.
Oh, United Nations. I've wondered about that too. Yeah. I've wondered about because it says the first beast comes out of the sea, the second out of the earth. But hey, what if all of this is wrong, and we have civilizations, ancient civilizations, living under our feet, underground and under the sea? Because we see reports all the time of UFOs going into volcanoes, going underground, and going into the oceans. So we know things live down there, intelligent things. It's been, the government basically admitted it. So what if the beasts haven't risen yet? What if the restrainer's keeping them at bay until the rapture happens, we're taken, and then the beast comes up out of the sea, and then the other beast comes up out of the land, you know, because we do have that's I think that's why they're revealing that these like underground cities that they're finding underneath the pyramids.
Yeah.
And they've been talking about that kind of stuff a lot, and the UFOs and everything, and they're kind of, it's like a soft disclosure, kind of.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Keep going there for just a minute, because I gotta respond to this.
Yeah. I actually did a video over on my channel covering an interview that supposedly happened with this guy and a lizard-like entity that she had the power to make herself appear human, but she wasn't human, and she had these other powers to make people see things that weren't really there, you know. And she said she lived underground, and there are certain points on the earth, and I've heard Josh talk about this, that there are certain from End Times Talk, there are certain points on the earth that there are like these portals that lead to underneath the underground civilizations. And this was, I believe this was legit, the Lacerda files. You can look it up, but they say that there are like 11 different types of intelligent beings that besides humans, and they just stay out of our sight. Like they're just observers to us.
The
and
restrainers,
with the nuclear stuff. Here. Right. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, that's right. And as the veil starts to lift, you know, they're being able to expose themselves more and more. And that's exactly what she said too. She said, "I have not yet been permitted to do interviews with anybody until now. They just gave me permission to do the interview now." And that was back in 1990 something, 1992, I think. And it was talking about all these UFOs and stuff, a lot of stuff that we're just seeing today. For the first time. So,
I mean, there's holes in the sky. That Mr. MB333 over there. I mean, there's so much crazy stuff going on over there. I mean, it is unbelievable. This woman just a day or two ago sitting out by a pool, and this thing, you know, came down. I think I may have that. Let me remove this. Hold on a second. I think I may have that, but I got to remove this first, and then let me go over here, and I'm gonna show that. Oh well, but first, you know what? I mean, this world's getting so crazy, man. Man, you know what? Yeah, we jump from subject to subject over here. We don't know, but man, you know, I got this. I found this clip, and I was like, you know, I put the name of it on there, and I was like, I went back to try to find the exact clip, and man, it blew me away. I mean, this wasn't the first one that was the first zombie that was found, but I mean, I couldn't believe, I must live in a bubble, man, because I don't get out watching all these, you know, watching all these shit. Now that's people that, obviously they're on fentanyl, and as I was sitting there scrolling through it a little bit yesterday, I'm like, you know, they have videos in Houston, Texas, and I'm going, man, I'm in a bubble out here on my 30 acres, and I have no idea what in the world is going on.
I don't either, man. I try to stay out of it. I mean, I try to keep my eyes on the important big stuff, but you remember that guy that was freaking out, that I don't remember what he was on, but it went viral because the woman was saying he needs some milk, you know. Kept saying that over and over. Give him some milk.
Yeah. And see this right. Look at this right here. Just a second here, man. This is.
And like I zoomed in, it was like right about like there, Colleen McCormick was out by her hot tub around 9 Wednesday night when she says she saw something strange and unfamiliar up above.
I'm going to mute that for a second, but look at that thing coming down. I mean,
What was that?
she's just sitting out by her pool, you know, and I mean, to have the presence of mind to whip out that quick, you know, and pull
Well,
her
it's got
phone out.
propulsion systems on it.
Look at that.
It just looks like a rocket to me.
And this was just posted on January the 26th. That was 4 days ago. It's got 1.7 million views. You know,
it's not going very fast either.
No, and she said that it went down, and I think she was waiting to see. Well, I don't want to play the audio, but the thing about it is, she, you know, there was no explosion, no nothing. It's like it just vanished. It's what they said at the end of the clip, you know. And if anybody's interested, you know, they can, you know, go over there and pull that up. Where's my comment?
You know, that's why that's why a lot of these people have been saying that they're trying to look like planes or drones, but they're shape shifting. Like, they're changing their form, and just like I was saying, I don't want to say, you know, the reptile being was saying that that they had that ability to influence human brain waves to see what they want them to see. Just like the Bigfoot thing, and the comment under it is good too.
Yeah.
But
well, you know, the thing about it is I believe in Bigfoot too, you know, but the way they go in and out of our dimension, they're real, but they're not the restrainers still, they can only do so much.
Right. To the saved. Because there are some things that have happened to unsaved people that we don't hear about.
Do you remember that with I know what Daniel Morris is talking about here, says she's a reptile. Do you remember there was I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, you know, whenever a girl went crazy on an airplane, you know, because the person had those reptile eyes and everything?
Yeah.
Man.
Yep. I've seen a lot of stuff like that, man. It's being exposed. It's finally it's been here for as long as we have, but now they're letting it out. Now the restrainer is letting it go. You know, it's
slowly but surely. You know, but man, can you imagine when that thing goes whoop and it's gone? You know, and all these fuzzy pictures that you see of all of the alien craft, and it's almost into view. But you know what? The restrainer's saying, not yet, not yet, not yet.
You know, I have a.
Hold on. Look at this right here. Look at this. Wild. This is just wild. Tomorrow, they are installing street signs in Israel that will be pointing to the new temple. They're already going to be installing street signs? Are you kidding me?
Well, shows you where we're at.
Yeah. And then this right here the whole world's on fire right here. You know, Southern Europe has already started to burn. Forest fires have engulfed Turkey and Greece. In the area of Turkish Kayaklar and Menderes district, of forest fire rapidly spreading under the influence of strong winds, and there's not. Man, look at that thing. That's just nuts. Southern Europe has already started to burn. Forest fires. Yeah. Wow. That's nuts, man. What were you going to say, bro?
I've got a couple videos of these UFOs that they've got real up close. If you want to share my screen there.
Hold on a second. Let's check them out. We have no idea Holy Ghost is leading this. Hey, Repo Man in the house. You know, I wished I had some clips, man. I need to go get some clips of Repo Man. You know, we're just Yeah, we're just nibbling here, man. But anywho, hey, by the way, Repo Man, that was a great deal, with I think you were on with Shane and everything, man. And I tell you what, and I wanted to tell you something. Whenever you did, this was maybe 3 or 4, 6 months ago, Repo Man, you did that first deal about drinking that cup and water was, coming all down. My buddy Jimmy, he was been on some lives, man, and we were both sitting here doing the same thing in my office, man. Yes, yes, that's right. That's right. The closer we get to the rapture, the crazier things will be, man. And are they not crazy?
That is
Wow.
very true.
Wow.
Do you want to share
Okay.
the screen when you get a chance?
I think I'm getting feedback.
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. Why is it not opening now? All right.
We need repo man.
When things like this
Support.
it seems
See that orb?
He knows everything. Secret broadcasting.
Recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea.
See that orb? Looks like pure energy.
It could be, but this
Yeah.
Like one of the clearest ones I've seen yet. But there's this other one. And it actually looks like Ezekiel's wheel. When he said he saw a wheel within a wheel. Let me see if I can get that one to come up. Yeah. This one's not as clear, but you see it? It's turning like rainbow lights and stuff like that.
Yeah. Is it just me or Scott's is a what?
It's probably got something to do with the second screen that I'm sharing. I just muted it. I probably should have done that from the start.
That's cool. Hey man, you know what? We're just stumbling around out here, man. But you know what? We just want to share Jesus in any little bit we can. Daniel Morse was wondering, is that a drone?
No. Couldn't be. Is that are you saying that as a joke or? I mean, if it was surrounded by light, maybe.
He's saying your volume is lower, Scott.
Oh, cool. Good. My computer likes to change settings on its own, I've noticed.
Yeah.
All right. How about now? I don't even know what to do about it, really.
Oh, you sound fine to me now. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that second string you're bringing in, we'll have to work on that, man. We'll have to work on that.
It's been a struggle.
Oh, I'm telling you. But man, you know what? Coming soon. Rapture of the church, then 7 years of tribulation. Look at this right here. It is snowing. Whoa. What's not described in Ezekiel? Yep. Oh, okay. Then you talk about that wheel. Okay.
Yeah, they're craft. They're like alien craft, and I don't think all of them are evil either. I think some of them may be, but or definitely some of them are. But I think when the rapture happens, I think these things are getting in place to prepare to take us up to meet the Lord in the air.
Hey,
Mike,
I don't know
if we're just gonna zoom up,
If you're still in here, man, let me know if you're still in here, because I've got something I want to show you and just see what your thoughts are. I mean, I think you and I have commented back and forth a time or two. I'm only going to play it once. Are you still in here, Mike? We'll wait till he pops up in there. Meanwhile, back at the ranch,
Mike needs to join us live, man.
Yeah, I could send him a link and he could school us all here, man. That would be good. But right here, it's snowing in Argentina.
Interesting. Is that uncommon?
In June. Well, it's South America.
Oh, yeah. I would say that's probably uncommon.
Yeah, yeah. And then right here, torrential rainfall. Oh, I'm at lunch at work. Okay. Well, Repo Man, just one thing. I'm gonna play. Let me remove this from the screen. And this is like a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma for me. And I don't know if you've probably already heard it. I'm only going to play like, I don't want to be discouraging because I want the rapture to happen this year. But this is just a curiosity, and I'm hoping that, when Jonah prophesied 40 days and it didn't happen, I'm hoping this is the case.
I know the voice of the Lord. Yeah. And so I got back in the bed and the Lord said this. He said, after you have your 25th wedding anniversary, then the rapture will take place. And I'm thinking, okay, Lord, I've been married 20 years. My 25th wedding anniversary will be November 14th, 2025. So you're saying you're not coming back till after November 14th, 2025. He didn't tell me the day or the hour. He said, after you have your 25th wedding anniversary, you celebrate that, then the rapture will take place. So I'm thinking, now, there's certain things I know.
Okay, that's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. I mean, but it's like one of those things with Tom Horn,
mute for a second, sorry.
One of those things with Tom Horn, and when you count back the 1,260 days, and it lands on October 31st of this year. And, and it's like I was telling David the Watchman, it's a good thing I didn't join the military because I surely would have stepped on a landmine, And so anyway, I mean, because everything, comes up about his, the Ukraine things and all, and how everything's come through perfectly. So I'm going to just leave it at that. I mean, it's not, because I don't want to be discouraging to anybody. I want the rapture could happen today. I want it to happen today. Hallelujah. So I'm going to leave that right there. So I don't know because I went back and forth with you, Mike, a couple times, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about, just to see how the timelines could even possibly line up with that. But that's about it. Man, glad you joined us, Mike.
Sorry about that, guys.
And so let's go back over here to what's this? We got torrential rainfall in the early afternoon caused by rapid flooding across Iriga City. This is in the Philippines. I hope you're right. Look at that right here. Look at this. See, I love Repo Man. I mean, he is, and you know what? I'm with him. I'm not gonna, but my only thoughts with this is with Philip Barnett being completely like right on the Ukraine and everything, and Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord God will do nothing except He reveal His secrets to His servants, the prophets. I kind of see when they prop God, and I've listened to so much of him. I can tell when he's speaking what God told him and when he's speaking from his own intellect. But you know what? Hey, we're going to have the Nineveh thing and we're out of here in 2025. I am ready. I talked to David the Watchman about that. He thought that was interesting because November 14th is exactly 14 days after October 31st. And I spoke with Brett too. We did a little backstage chat. This has probably been 6 months ago because when I first saw that, my heart dropped. And so anyway, I'm believing we're out of here, bro. I am. I'm with you.
Yeah.
As in the days of Noah. There we go.
It's going to come someday. It's got to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm with hot summer, man. Record-breaking heat.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh, now what was that? They already do that rapid flooding, yeah, across the Philippines, man. Let's move on here. Oh, this is nuts right here. This scandal, man. I don't know. Have you seen this dude? It's this rapper called something the villain. Where's he at, man? Oh, this is it right here. Yeah. Man, check this out. This is insane.
Free, free. Alright, but have you heard this one though? Death, death to the IDF. Death, death to the IDF. Death, death to the IDF. Death, death to the IDF.
I mean, that kind of stuff is just going on. Like, I mean, it blows. I mean, he just goes on and on and on. And anyway, and you know what? What is that new Reformation thing that's popping up? Is it NAR or whatever? The new apostolic, you know, where they're like replacing Israel with the church or whatever, man. I mean, it is just hold on, let's see. If God didn't tell each one of us in his own way, the Amos 3:7 is, hey, God bless you, Mikey. Man, I love you, bro.
So I thought the rapture was going to happen before I turned 34, but I just turned 34. So we got all kinds of things speaking to us, man. It's hard to
I know. Yeah. It's just and you know what? Back to what Repo Man said there, it could be his interpretation, you know. I mean, and I've thought about that, you know, and because I have. Because here's the thing, and see, Scott was just on a live with me before, because I was like, he's saying that there's going to be a 200-foot tsunami on the West Coast before the rapture. And he did not say that. I misheard it, you know. And anyway, so now I'm not looking for a 200-foot tsunami before the rapture. Hallelujah. Glory to God.
Now, Chris from Global Rapture Watchers and Bob from End Time Dream and Vision, they both said that there's going to be a massive earthquake around California and a possible tidal wave and the Cascadia subduction zone going off like around or right before the rapture or something. But that's we're already getting warnings, you know. They said that volcano was going to go off this month.
Well, look at this. Okay, well, let's just move on here just a little bit. Okay, that was in the Philippines, and an oil refinery in Droho Lviv region burning after yesterday's missile and drone strike by the Russian armed forces. You know, I wish I could tie all this stuff together like Chris does. He goes, this is that, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, what he says. But man, look at that, man.
Gifts, man.
Wow. Oh, I thought it was a video. It's not a video. Okay, well, let's move on to some bit. Southern Europe has already started to burn. Oh, that's that. We already watched that. And this is the Kilauea, because I was just watching the other day the 24th and 25th one, and now it looks like this is the 27th. That is just, is that not insane? That's just insane.
I thought that was like a super volcano.
Yeah, well, I think it's just, you know, it's kind of like Yellowstone. I think, you know, it starts popping off here and there or whatever. When that whole thing goes, man, did I miss something?
I think Kilauea is like the entire island of Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, they just zoomed in on her. Or it's just, it was getting bigger, wasn't it? Yeah. Wow. Oh, this was that, you know, which somebody was saying, I think this was from Bubba News. And he was saying that there was that car explosion, but I think it was an Amazon thing or something, but it was a gas-powered vehicle that somehow started exploding or something, you know, and possibly a precursor to this weekend, you know. Just like any of these videos we do right now, you know, you put them out and it's like, and it's going to be old news in about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, taking that, what's happening with that car bomb and what happened with the firefighters, I think it's safe to say that We probably got sleeper cells becoming active now.
Yeah, I don't know, Daniel Morris, on whether, well, I do know. I do know. I don't know if you're talking about Philip Barnett. I kind of look at the proofs in the pudding, and because there's only been 2 or 3 people my entire life, and I go back and I look at what God told them, and it's happened, and so I'm just going to leave it at that, and the thing about it is, I mean,
even if it does end up being November, that's gonna fly by, man.
Well, I know, but because, like I said, you remember the deal with Bubba News, a little clip that he said things are lining up for, 2032, Hanukkah to begin its millennial reign. I'm like, well, that's after November 14th, and it would still, and in my mind, check this out. I still think it has to be somewhere in a window, because I don't think it's going to move on to the 33 AD thing, which has been the whole, Catholic thing for, 33 AD. I think it's going to be somewhere there in the middle, and so
sooner than you think.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Guy that was rapping just doesn't. No, he doesn't have a clue, Daniel. Not one.
He does have a clue. He's just on the.
Oh yeah. Correct.
He doesn't have a clue who he's messing with. I can tell you that.
No.
He's gonna have to answer for it.
Yeah, and that's the Kurdish-led SDF forces are advancing towards Deir ez-Zor of a major operation targeting ISIS cells in the region. Approximately 6,000 SDF fighters are expected to take part in the upcoming offensive. I'm with you, Repo Man. Definitely 31 AD, bro. I am with you all day long and twice on Shabbat and Sunday. Don't know if you saw my testimony, with go check it out over at Derek's channel. It's on my channel too, but that I just recently came out of all of that messianic thing, man. I mean, you know what? When I did, it felt like something like scales fell from my eyes. That's the only way I can put it, So, yeah.
We've all been in our own phase, man. Definitely good to be free.
Oh, man.
To know the truth,
Yeah, sometimes I saw you and Shane, Repo Man, on there, and the way y'all were going back and forth, man. I mean, I just thought that was awesome. That was a great amen to that. Yeah. It's amazing how, put some of us together, because I've watched everybody all the way from, you and I responded about the cool guy, and I'm just like, but I've watched all this for 2 years. It's like God kept me in a groupie status. I was just a groupie for 2 years and didn't do anything. And then, and I'm like, and these mics that I got, I didn't even ask for them, and it's like, I was just, I don't know.
You got set up.
Yabba dabba doo.
Set you up. Yep.
Oh, look at this. A Russian train driver films the wildfires raging in the east of the country. Oh, I need to mute that. Oh my goodness, because if I do that, then I might get
copyright.
I forget, it's like a minefield out there. They can have that backtrack going on there, and then Zappola.
Yep.
And look at this. This is South Dakota. Look at the funnel on that thing, man.
Dude, what is happening?
It's doing the jig.
Oh my gosh, look at it wide. Oh my.
For you. Oh my gosh.
It's like a multi-board.
What?
But it's just one of them.
How is it moving like that?
Oh, dude, what do you say to that, man?
Exactly what he said.
Yeah. Now this getting up into some of the other stuff. Yeah. That's about all I had for today, man. And
Yeah.
so we need to do, Scott.
It's
We need
just-
to work a little bit more on getting your stuff up here, man. Wow,
As
wow,
soon as
man. Hey, thank
technology
you.
allows and the devil gets off my back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? I'll help you with that, man. Well, you know what? 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4, believe that he died, was buried, and rose again on the third day, and that he paid for your sins, and you trust in him and him alone.
Yep.
And
Not your understanding.
thank you, Repo Man. Love you, bro. You just really
Thanks,
love
man.
you.
Good to see you, buddy. Hope to see more of you. You got to get on here with us one time.
Yeah, Repo Man. I saw, by the way, dude, I saw, I happened to be watching one of your videos and I saw where you put my channel up, man. I was just like, that double take, man. I'm like, man, Repo Man put my channel up there, man. This blew me away. But anyway, man.
The OGs.
Hey, love the Lord. Be watching. He's coming. Any last
Keep your
thoughts
eyes on
there,
him.
Scott?
Yeah, just what I think I said this yesterday or the day before. I'm not looking for a date in the future. I'm looking for him now in my daily life, and I'm trying my best to keep my focus on him every day in the moment, and because that's the only way I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
I don't have much left. Either the Lord's gonna come get us soon, or I'm not gonna be me anymore.
That's it.
I feel like
I think everybody is redlining it right now, and it's by design, because you know what? Jesus is screeching everything out right now, getting everybody on the ark. So anyway, God bless everybody. Love you. We're out. I don't have a fancy dance end thing, so God bless everybody.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out.